Namaste and good afternoon. On behalf of Apollo Hospitals, I'm delighted to welcome you all to our corporate health series. This is Dr. Srinidhi Chidambaram here. We have been bringing you the essence of health tips and knowledge so that you focus not only on your work, but also on health and wellness. Through these sessions, we hope to foster a culture of wellness and health by promoting healthy behaviors and improving overall health at the workplace. We aim to touch upon various topics that include all aspects of employee health, including physical health, mental health issues, counseling, reducing employee health risks, managing chronic diseases, and of course, stress management. No one likes falling sick with infections all the time. It not only makes you tired and cranky, but you also face problems such as lost work days, missing out on events or missing out on meetings, and also have problems catching up or showing up sick at work and feeling miserable. But can you really avoid frequent infections? On the whole, it must be told that your immune system does a remarkable job of defending you against diseases, against microorganisms, but sometimes it fails. And there is a microorganism, a microbe, a germ that invades your body and makes you sick. But is it possible to intervene in this process and boost your immune system? Is it really possible through diet or through vitamins or herbal supplements? Or are other lifestyle changes needed? How do we produce a near-perfect immune response? So here we are with a brand new session about building resilience and immunity. To impart his expert insights, I'm delighted and honored to welcome Dr. Shrikant Jaganmani, distinguished general physician and internal medicine specialist at Apollo Hospitals, Jubilee Hills, Hyderabad. With an impressive career spanning over 30 years, Dr. Jaganmani's academic journey is equally noteworthy. After completing his MBBS from the Osmania Medical College, Hyderabad, in 1984, he finished a diploma in ophthalmology and then further honed his expertise in 1993. Dr. Jaganmani has expertise in treating a wide range of conditions, including various infectious diseases as well as several chronic health conditions as well as acute conditions. With his extensive background in internal medicine and general practice, Dr. Jaganmani offers valuable expertise on health and immunity today. His insights are particularly relevant for working professionals seeking to maintain optimal health in demanding work environments. Thank you, Dr. Jaganmani. Thanks for joining us today, and we look forward to hearing your valuable insights on this interesting topic. So let's begin by asking you to give our audience an overview of what exactly do we mean by immunity and the immune system.
So thank you for this opportunity, and you struck the right chord at the right moment. That's what I feel, because with the onset of monsoon, there is a spread of various types of infections. Mainly, we are coming across spurts of dengue, chikungunya. These are all the seasonal things. Of course, you have the enteric fever springing up, salmonellosis at various parts of the country. So, to start with, I think what is immunity? It cannot be described as a single organ. It's a conglomeration of different organs, starting from the skin. You have the blood products, including the plasma, the various types of cells, the WBCs. All these things, they play a very, very vital role, apart from the place where they are produced, the bone marrow. And you, of course, have the so-called, I would quite often say, use this word as the drainage areas, the so-called lymph nodes, the lymphatic system. And if you take the major organs, you have the liver and spleen, not to spare. You have the mucosae, the linings of the gastrointestinal tract, starting from the oral cavity to down below the colonic mucosa. All these things, apart from the external, the biggest organ of the body, that is the skin, all these things, they play a vital role in building up the immunity, the natural immunity for the body, for the individual. And when this system gets affected, you may have the so-called derangement of one or two organs or systems.
So, could you give us a little more details about how this immune system actually works when we are exposed to an infection?
Yeah. See, let's start off with a foreign body. In the medical terminology, we use this word antigen. When this strikes the body, either externally over the skin or some sort of a droplet infection, it might enter the respiratory system. First, it enters the pharynx, the upper airways, and then it goes, depends upon the body's immune status. It might go down and affect the lungs. It might also do the same with the related to the gastrointestinal system. It might enter through the oral cavity and then might go down. And once it enters the system, it is just the bloodstream which takes it to the different sites of the body. So it is the antigen or the foreign body from outside, and the body reacts by producing what are known as antibodies. This is the fundamental basis of the immunology or the immunity, antigen-antibody reactions. Then you have different other products. They may come into the force. It's just like you have the first to be called is the state police, the one which is close by. And if the situation becomes uncontrollable, you may require the help of the CRP. And then later on, if it is still not yet under control, you may probably ask the army to chip in. This is how the immune system works. So, first is the antigen antibody. Antibodies are usually produced by the different types of cells, mainly the lymphocytes, the circulating blood cells, the white cells in the body. You have two different types of cells, B lymphocytes and T lymphocytes. Depending upon the infection, you have a varied response. You have other supplements also, like interleukins and interferons, adding the so-called the task force to counteract the infection. So this is how the immune system is going to work.
So what goes wrong? What makes the immune system ineffective sometimes, which is why we'll end up with infections? Or are there stages in it, like as in like when it fails completely, or when it just takes a bit longer to help your body get rid of that organism?
Yeah, this is where I think the role of the lifestyle disease becomes extremely important, and then the wellness impact, what our beloved chairman has foreseen almost 4 decades ago, and then started off this so-called master health check, which periodically gets revised, and then the newer things get added. This is the very concept of identifying the so-called disease quite early, and then taking enough steps to counteract or get over it. So to say this, I think leading a healthy lifestyle and wellness is extremely important. Because with all the little experience that I have gained over 25, 30 years, though I'm an internist basically, tackling the non-communicable diseases this century is a major challenge. With the advent of COVID, we have found that link. Previously, the communicable diseases probably, I think, towards the end of 20th century, they have taken the back seat. Majority of the diseases have been brought under control. And we started focusing more on the communicable, non-communicable diseases, or the NCDs or LSDs. But with the COVID, it really gave us the so-called, it was an eye-opener. In fact, I would say that it has reopened the importance of the communicable diseases, and the treatment or the management has totally changed. There is an obvious link, because the non-communicable diseases, be it obesity, diabetes, hypertension, the chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, the cirrhosis of the liver, you name it, it has the effect on the immune system. It deranges the immune system totally. And that gives rise to the increased propensity of infections.
So what we can understand is that while there may not be a direct effect of a particular diet or specific exercise, overall healthy lifestyle and management of that lifestyle, prevention of the non-communicable or lifestyle-induced diseases do play a large role in improving the immune function.
Yes.
So to develop this theme a little further for the benefit of our corporate audience, because they are usually the ones who have such a busy schedule that they often say that they cannot maintain a healthy lifestyle. So let's begin with the most fundamental thing, the food. So what kind of, so at the same time, there is a lot of misinformation and maybe a lot of myths floating around about different foods. I don't know whether it is a myth or whether it is true that there are many foods that actually improve your immunity. We saw a host of them during the COVID pandemic. So what is your view on diet to improve your immunity? And are there any particular things that you can have to actually improve your immunity?
See, if I see that management of the lifestyle diseases per se, the gamut of the issues, or which includes, as I was mentioning, obesity, diabetes, hypertension, and then dyslipidemia, COPD, all these things. To manage these things, the first or the most important principle is, as you have rightly mentioned, the diet, and followed by exercise. Which again, as you have mentioned, majority of the young, so-called the next gen people would say, no, I don't have time. I beg to differ. I think we need to really counsel them, explain them the importance of how to prevent the onset of the so-called dreadful diseases which are likely to cause problems in the middle age. For this, I think elaborate history and HNP, as we say, the history and the physical examination is definitely important. And taking the genetic aspects, the family history, which plays a very, very important role. Like we have started taking the genome mapping also. The genomic study has been incorporated in few cases where there is a suspicion. And I'll give you one small example. A strong family history of a premature coronary artery disease. This is one thing which we are studying these days among the health check programs. For that, we are checking the homocysteine levels, the lipoprotein P, and people who are deficient or who have this abnormal values, we are trying to add further, because they definitely, as you know, they carry a very, very high risk. And of course, we have the various types of cancers, mainly the following cancers. We go for the colonoscopic workup. So taking the family history or the so-called the genetic aspects is first thing. Now coming to the second thing is the diet. See, overall, I think globally there is a change. We are moving towards vegetarianism. I don't mean to undermine the importance of the animal protein. Definitely it has more protein, and then the animal source has other advantages also. Like you have rich sources of vitamin B12, which is a neurovitamin, which is unfortunately lacking in the vegetarian. And we have no option. I'm a vegetarian, so I am forced to take the B12 supplement. So this is how the permutations and combinations work. But a healthy diet need not necessarily be a non-vegetarian one or a vegetarian. It has to have an equal proportion of carbs, fats, and then proteins, as per the description, like 40 to 45% of carbs, which unfortunately most of the Indians, we have more than 60 to 70%, be it South India or North India or Western or the Eastern parts. It's our genetic susceptibility. So carbs have to be slashed with a raise in the protein components. A good dietitian probably is going to help, which all of us would have. And the basic concept is 40, 20, and 40. This is how the ratio should be divided. Along with that, I think good source of vitamins and antioxidants, which are available. The plant source, the fruits, they are rich sources of antioxidants. So we have everything available in the nature. You need not go for the additional supplement unless there is a proven deficiency or some other factor which makes it more complicated. Otherwise, I think the nature has given everything to us. It's only we have to identify and then make the choice.
And what about physical fitness?
This is the second important.
And for people who are traveling long distances for work or who come back very late, so there's often an excuse that we don't have time. So is there a role of physical activity in improving your immunity?
The second important so-called non-pharmacological ways of management of the lifestyle diseases and bring up the immunity to a good level and see that the infections are warded off. For that, I think, again, I go back. These days, the young individuals are quite conscious. They are hitting the gym, whether as that is an office area or at the residential areas. They have their own so-called exercise setup. So at least 45 to 50 minutes of brisk, moderate activity. Need not be intense physical activity, but moderate physical activity. 6 days in a week is extremely important to build up the immunity indirectly, because first of all, it builds up the muscle tone and washes off all the so-called degenerative products, the cells from the body, build up the positive hormones, especially the growth hormone. The steroid levels are readjusted. The insulin resistance comes down. So indirectly, the diabetes is also brought under control. People who are pre-diabetics, they come down. People who are pre-hypertensives, who have a family history of hypertension, again, the hormones like adrenaline, steroids, all these things, they are brought into a sort of a balance. So that way, I think the lifestyle diseases are prevented. Directly, the immunity also goes up. So there is a link between both these NCDs and then the CDs.
So another aspect of lifestyle, two aspects, is stress and sleep. Both affect our corporate workforce a good deal. So either there is long travel or irregular working hours, shifts, plus this whole impact of the work pressure, the stress, financial pressures, so many things. So, do all these play a role in immunity? We have heard of instances where somebody had a big stressful event and then promptly also developed some kind of infections. So, are they even linked, these aspects?
Again, physiologically speaking, sleep is something which is extremely important for the replenishment of the positive hormones, mainly the growth hormone, which is again the steroids. Steroids, if you take, you have a biphasic surge. They are the highest in the morning hours. Again, we come down late in the afternoon, and in the evening again there is a spike. So all these things, they go haywire for people who work for long hours, and then especially for people who have these so-called night shifts. And amongst the females, you have increasing incidence of PCOS, that is polycystic ovarian diseases, and various other, the menstrual cycles become irregular, and the males, even the sperm counts have come down, they become azoospermic. All these things are the major challenges of this generation, which we are seeing. And definitely, sleep is playing a very, very important role. So my suggestion to this generation is have both sleep. Don't depend upon the so-called the medications. There are natural steps of inducing the sleep. You require around at least 6 to 7 hours. See, as medical persons, we are tuned for 6-hour schedule because we are habituated right from the beginning of our medical care, but it will not be the same for the rest of the disciplines. So 7 to 8 hours of sleep is a must. It can occur provided we tackle the stress. First thing is the stress should not be carried back home. Assuming that you are working from home, there are other methods, non-pharmacological methods. Listen to music, because I'm a music therapist, so I would be first emphasizing the need for playing or listening to music. You can, of course, do the exercises. Even the stretch exercises are simple enough to give you or induce good amount of sleep because of predominant melatonin synthesis and the release of melatonin into the bloodstream. This is a physiological hormone, again, secreted from the pineal gland. So this also can be, and you have, of course, the endorphins playing a very, very vital role. All these things can be normalized, provided with simple tips like meditation, music, dance, exercises. All these things can produce good amount of sleep. If you sleep well, the positive hormones, again, are synthesized. Thereby, the effect is more on the T cells. T cells or the T lymphocytes, they carry the brunt of the chronic immunity. So, the T lymphocyte count, the helper cells, they go up with good sleep. Indirectly, the chronic infections, mostly the tuberculosis, the fungal infections, and various other chronic infections, they come down.
I think we are slightly running out of time, so I'm going to restrict my questions to the most important ones. So one is I wanted to ask you, in the workplace as such, what can individuals do to, of course, ward off infections and remain kind of safe? We've learned a lot of things from COVID, starting from hand washing, but would you like to reinforce some of those things as well?
Yes, definitely hand washing, and especially in this season, I am still advising people to wear the mask. Mask is something which is going to prevent at least more than 50% of the droplet infections. So if you want to be away from non-COVID also, forget about COVID, even non-COVID like influenza, the rhinovirus, all these things. And instead of carrying it back home and infecting others, the best thing is to wear a mask and stay away. And if it is proven that he is infectious, then one thing which is always there, isolate yourself temporarily. But mask is the best way, is the easiest and the best.
What about immunization? Now there is a lot of interest in adult vaccinations. So especially people who are working and who have to travel a lot. What would you suggest? How would they go about doing this?
Yeah. See, again, I'm happy because you have raised this question. Adult vaccination is one of the pet subjects of mine. And I've been, I feel happy because chairman has included this into the HELTH program. So definitely it plays a very, very important role depending upon the age and the type of travel. So first thing is the age. With the comorbidities like diabetes and hypertension, it's now the universally accepted guidelines are you need to vaccinate against at least 4 or 5, like having a pneumococcal shot, then your influenza shot against the influenza, then the herpes, which has come up right now. It's available right now as Shingrix. Then you have the vaccine against the hepatitis B. Then, of course, for the young girls, you have the vaccination against the cervical cancers, which are being taken up in a very, very big way. So these things are a must. The only thing is we need to educate the people the importance of taking it. When it comes to the certain age group back, we have the other people who are frequent travelers. Depending upon the location where they are likely to visit, we need to offer them vaccine. Like if it is Southeast Asia, we need to vaccinate them against enteric fevers because the salmonella is extremely common. Apart from the routine diphtheria, Tdap is the vaccination which we advise. The tetanus, diphtheria, and pertussis. If people are traveling to Africa, of course, you have the yellow fever vaccination is a must. So, depending upon the traveler's location, we need to offer them the so-called extra vaccination.
Finally, let me also ask you, what in the workplace should people be aware of when it comes to having an infection and when that becomes something that needs immediate medical attention? So what are the red flags or something that people in the workplace or even the employer, the organization must be aware of?
If you are working in a healthcare industry, the thing is simple. If you are not in a healthcare industry, if you are elsewhere, of course, I think the first thing which you need to do is, apart from taking the routine medications like adding on to the fever, like paracetamol, and if you suspect something with a sort of a flu-like symptoms, as I was mentioning, start wearing the mask and then see the medical specialist or the physician. And prompt medical advice should be sought without procrastinating. Because small things, they matter quite a lot. And comorbidities play a very, very important role in deciding about the treatment and the complications which are likely to occur.
So, thank you so much, Doctor, for this wonderful session. I think it is a very voluminous subject. There is lots more to be covered, but I think you have put it together in a very concise way. So, viewers, I do hope you found this session informative. We often wonder what can we do to keep ourselves healthy, but as doctors said, there is no magic wand or magic supplement or magic food that exists. The best way is to keep ourselves healthy, to lead a healthy lifestyle, take all necessary steps to keep healthy. As boring as that sounds, it's tried, tested, and true. So stay consistent, stay well, and you will become resilient and healthy. Till the next time, thank you and namaste.